Today I've got my friend Natasha from Good Goddess, and we're talking about wanting to incorporate our natural curl back into our lives. So Natasha, as far as I've known you, you've always worn your hair straight, and I was actually surprised to hear that you have curly hair. So tell me, what are your hair goals?
So my hair goals, I have a few different hair goals. So I, first of all, want to avoid heat as much as possible. So, and I know that as a result will be embracing my curly hair. And so not only that, I think because I am very healthy in what I consume and ingest, and I have relatively healthy hair, I think it could be even healthier. So I think removing that heat, the straightening daily is just probably a huge key player in making my hair a little bit dry on the ends. Like my hair has zero oil, you know this, my hair is like more on the drier side, but I think it could really be a lot more healthy. So I'm thinking we need to be able to wear it curly.
Okay. Yeah. And are you ready to embrace your natural curl?
Well, I think this is it. This is me being ready, but I think because my hair has always been cut by you to be straight, to be straightened, I don't want to be a pyramid head, so I know that we probably have to give it a little trim, layer some layers in, which I haven't had layers in a long time, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I want to also have options to be able to wear it straight if I want to, and to wear it curly. So especially in the summer, it's hot. Any type of heat we can avoid.
Totally.
Let's avoid it. Yeah.
So today we're gonna go through, I'm gonna cut your hair. I am gonna layer it a little bit so that it doesn't look like a big pyramid, because that's, for a lot of curly haired gals, that's a big no-no.
Right.
And then we're going to style it in such a way that we can actually just sit outside, sit in the sun, use the heat that we're already getting in our climate in order to have your curl dry naturally.
Perfect.
And then we'll do just like a few little tweaks here and there to make sure you really love your curl.
Okay.
But this is definitely gonna be a curly hair journey.
It is, for sure, and I'm ready.
Just like nutrition, like you've given me tips, it's been a journey that way.
It's a journey, exactly.
And so are you ready? We're gonna cut a little bit of layers and a smidgen of length, just the dry bits off of your hair.
I think it's part of the process. So let's
get started?
Yep, let's do it.
We're back from the sink where I shampooed and conditioned Natasha's hair, and I wanted to relay to our audience a few important steps when you're dealing with curly hair. So the hair, you have to think of it like a spring. And anytime we use too much tension, we pull the curl right out of the hair. So when you're detangling, you want to use a leave-in conditioner. That's just gonna help keep the curl. And then instead of a paddle brush, I recommend to use a wide tooth comb while you're detangling the hair.
Great.
And I thought, while I was cutting your hair, Natasha, since you are the guru of health, you could share some really great ideas to maintain healthy hair and skin.
Yes, no, I'd love to. So I think we all are starting to realize that whatever we put into our bodies is reflected on your skin and on your hair, on your nails. So some just easy little tips that I could give is you really want to eat foods that are rich in vitamin A, vitamin E, really good proteins. And I mean, eggs, surprisingly enough, has biotin in it. So that's really good for the hair as well. So other good resources, obviously nuts, sweet potatoes. The skin of sweet potato is really good for your hair. Avocados, salmon, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, of course. And we have a product which I absolutely love, and I mean, I can go on about it forever, but it's our powderful grass-fed collagen. And you take it once a day, a tablespoon in your coffee, your smoothies, really easy to use. It adds protein to anything you add it to. And it's just really good for your hair, really great for your nails, skin, your bones. We're actually, this is a little teaser alert, but we're actually coming out with a product that is plant-based and collagen boosting with biotin in it as well. So for all the plant-based goddesses out there, this is something for you. But in the meantime, I mean, there's such natural, very everyday things you could be doing, like eating those rich foods, keeping your your food clean and high protein. Again, like just nuts, seeds, berries. It's very simple, right? And just having a really well-balanced diet. Coconut is really great, coconut oil. Fantastic fat, which is our MCT oil, is really good.
How does fantastic fat differ from an omega?
So it's just a different fat. So our fantastic fat is a derivative from coconut oil, and it's a MCT, so it's a medium chain triglyceride. So fancy words, but just different. It's a different type of fat. You can get it from coconut oil as well, which is great. So cook with coconut oil, and then, but the MCT is just kind of the shortcut to the good stuff.
Now that I'm done your cut, I'm gonna spray it down with more water.
Okay.
Because you can't change your hair when it's already dry unless you use heat. So to get your natural curl back, we need to actually wet the hair down.
Okay.
So since the 80s, we have been applying product to curly hair. And since the 80s, we've also been lucky because product has changed.
Right.
Product is basically like the salt, the pepper, the spices to your hairstyle. So it's only gonna make things better.
Love it.
So for you, there's this lightweight gel called Confixer. And then we also have a Be Curly Curl Enhancer, which is a cream.
Okay.
Cream-based products are really nice because they're softening.
Okay.
What's even better is when you find products that actually combine the two ingredients together. So sort of like a 2-in-1.
Okay.
And so Natasha, for you today, I'm gonna recommend that we actually use the Be Curly Style Prep.
Okay.
So this has something in it that's gonna hold your hair as well as soften your hair.
Okay.
And when you're applying, you do wanna be pretty generous. So I would say about 4 pumps.
Okay.
And when we apply, we're actually gonna start either with your head upside down, or we're gonna do it in sections, okay? Cool. So I'm just gonna apply this to sort of the back of your head first. So when I'm applying, you wanna really make sure that you get all of your product evenly put through the hair. And if you're having a hard time managing that with just your hand, that's when it's nice to use your wide tooth comb just to fully spread the product through. And then a few more pumps, and so this is gonna go more towards the top of your head, and you're naturally a little bit curlier in the crown. So I would actually use a little bit more product in there just to help hold. And so this whole time I'm just being really gentle, applying it through your hair. Again, going back to what I was saying before, how your hair is like a spring, and we don't want to pull too tight on the spring or we'll literally pull your curl out. And if that happens, just grab your spray bottle and wet your hair back down again.
And start fresh?
And start fresh. And this is also gonna be a good opportunity to sort of choose your parting, or if there's any other styling that you need to do. Because sometimes our natural curl is wonderful, but sometimes it also just needs a little bit of assistance. Okay, so all of the product is in, and we've actually placed Natasha's part. She likes to wear her hair in the center, but it's not a really rigid part, it's more just a natural center part. Now, what can usually happen is we're a little curlier along our hairline, and we can sit a little flat in the back. So what we're gonna do is create little pin curls. So what that means is literally just wrapping our hair when it's wet over our fingers and then clipping them in place. And because this is a natural air dry, we're just gonna kind of walk around outside and let these dry on their own. The other thing that happens is most women, when we are waiting for our hair to air dry, we get busy and we end up looking down a lot. So your hair ends up drying down towards your face and you can't see. So by pin curling just these front pieces, you're gonna be able to do what you need to do, but you're still gonna get the lift that you're after in your hairstyle. And so when I'm doing this, I'm really just making sure that there's nice root lift, and I'm not being super careful because curl naturally usually isn't super perfect. And what's nice about these clips, they're aluminum, they're nice and light, so you can continue with your day and you don't have to worry about heavy clips being on your head, or so heavy that they themselves leave marks in your hair.
And how many should I be doing?
So really it's just gonna depend on how flat your hair becomes.
Okay.
But I really only have about 5 of them in, maybe 6.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to be fiddling around too much.
Right.
We really just wanna keep your natural curl. So that's the last step there.
Okay.
And from here, we're gonna go sit outside in the heat and we're gonna wait for Natasha's hair to dry naturally.
Perfect.
Now that Natasha's hair is dry, we're going to refine the hairstyle. So far you can see that the Be Curly really did its job by keeping Natasha's hair intact. And what we can do is just by using our fingers, slowly just break apart some of the product so that it doesn't have that sort of 80s kind of feel. We want it to look really natural. The other thing that we can do, I have some of my hot irons plugged in because it's rare to have your hair dry perfectly without any refining. I'm also going to unclip all of our little pin curls along the top, and we're gonna see how those kind of came out on their own. And yes, they're nice and curly, and we'll slowly just kind of break those up as well. And now if they are too curly, which they shouldn't be, we can smooth them off a little with our hot iron. So like I had mentioned before, the only way that you can change hair once it is dry is to use heat. But you're also seeing that you're getting a lot of lift through the top. And if any of these curls sit too curly or too tight, we can always take our curling iron, and what we can do here is just refine the curl. So the further I stretch along the iron, it's going to actually lengthen and define. So I do want you to not have to have too much heat.
Right.
So ideally, this would only be on a few pieces, maybe for like a time where you need to, you're going out and you want to have your curls look perfect. But from day to day, I really don't think that people need to have their natural curl look as perfect as this.
So anytime I can actually air dry, I should do it, as opposed to diffusion and all that hair dryer.
Totally.
Yeah, okay, so air drying is always best?
So I feel like if you want to keep heat off of your hair, which is really your goal, I would suggest that you try to air dry as much as possible.
Yeah.
And only use a diffuser if, say, you're in a rush or it's too hot, the weather doesn't allow for it.
Yeah.
But for hot Toronto summers, you can definitely get away with an air dry.
Yeah.
And then just what you're doing, as soon as your hair is dry, you can feel free with the product that we used. It's flexible.
Okay.
So you can
so I'm not gonna like fuzz it up by playing with it a little bit?
No, you can move it around because the product is doing what it's doing.
Right.
And in fact, the only thing that I would maybe add at the very end would be a little bit of shine spray.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be careful not to put too much in because with shine spray, especially if you want to preserve your curls, it can look a little bit oily. So if anything, you can always use the tail of the comb. And with the tail of the comb, you can go in and sort of separate any little pieces to help define. But that's it. This is more or less gonna be your curly hair routine. For the time being, with your fresh haircut.
I do see the difference for sure.
You see a difference, how it's framing around your face.
For sure.
And then you can really see sort of how it goes. And from here, especially for those of you at home, you can work with your hairstylist to figure out what's gonna work best for your curly hair needs.
Right. No, I love it.